Cheers
Cheers.
to 2025.
Playable Streets 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Poof,
Let's do the
year.
recap.
All right.
Really, they are very squeaky chairs.
They are squeak.
Should we introduce ourselves? I feel like I've got biscuit.
Oh, you're pretty good.
You can go into that camera, or you can kind of go off.
Okay.
I guess you can just say it to me.
Yeah, I'll just say it to you. I mean, I find.
But you don't
talking
need to
camera a
introduce
bit
yourself to me. That'd be weird.
weird. Oh, that's true. Hello, I'm Chloe, and I am creative producer of Playable Streets.
And I'm Glenn, and I'm the artistic director at Playable Streets. I can't be seen in that camera, so hi. And we're doing a 2025 wrap.
What a year! Where do I feel
wild
like we
year.
need the calendar up.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll get the calendar up. But first, it has been a wild year. And I thought, just off the top of your dome, if you could describe the year in one word or a couple of words, what would it be?
A couple or like
Sure.
a few-
I mean, I don't want to be a stickler, but yeah, sure. A couple of words.
Projects galore, intergenerational
Projects galore, intergenerational.
relationships.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
There's 4.
Yeah, that's really good.
Do you have 4 words?
No, I just got one. Bonkers.
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 Yeah.
Endings. Beginnings.
Ooh.
Yeah?
Endings, beginnings.
Bonkers, endings, beginnings.
Ah.
I think would be it.
Can you elaborate a bit
Might need to
more?
workshop that.
What you mean?
I feel like
endings,
there's
beginnings?
things that ended.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, the PhD was a big ending.
Okay, I'm with you now.
But, I mean, it's not all about me.
No.
Ending in terms of Kate finished up, hopefully not forever. Kate Perman, our producer, took a year off to go work at the Melbourne Museum. Very lucky to have her. The beginnings part is pretty obvious. We started Cold Voice, that was the first time doing that. We put a bit of money into the gallery version of Reflection. Which was different.
Collaborations with Sparking Spider Creative.
Sparking Spider starting to produce work.
Yeah.
And finally doing the installation at Changi Airport. Is that this year? So we're just going to go through all the works and do a quick recap of the things that we've done this year. Before we do that, before I remind you, is there a project or a time or something that's happened this year that sticks out in your mind?
Korea is one big one.
Yeah.
And WA at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Interesting. Because that was a massive project.
Yeah. Lots of learnings.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. I think that, learning should have been in our thing somewhere, shouldn't it?
That's the 5th word.
That's the 5th word. Learned a lot. The thing that sticks out for me this year, I think it was Cold Voice at Monash. Just seeing it be engaged with and people actually playing with it after it being theoretical for a year and working out whether it was actually going to work.
Yeah.
I think this is a recurring theme for me when I'm developing works or trying something new. It's this huge terror or anxiety that it's not going to work.
Terror.
And but it's also the terror is kind of like got a condenser on it, like a compressor, where it can never peak because I'm always also thinking about all the practical stuff that goes along with it, which is compressing all the really intense emotions around the
big
work.
ruminations. Or,
So I can never get too deep in my head because I'm always thinking, but this one needs an extra screw here, or this sensor isn't working, so that needs to be replaced.
I think that's a good approach for you. No, I've known you for a good 3 years now.
Yeah.
And I think that condenser.
Yeah,
analogy
put a
is
capping
good.
on it.
Yeah,
It's good.
Through the practical nature
Yeah.
of the work that you do.
If I was always just thinking about it, I'd probably explode. Okay, and before we also jump in, has there been a time with an audience member or participant that has stuck out?
There's so many beautiful interactions that we've had interstate, internationally. But I think the one that really sticks out to me is going into Benton's Lodge aged care facility and engaging with participants experiencing living with dementia, having these beautiful moments of connection and joy through the new work, Duet Arts. I think that was very moving for the first time being a facilitator with that work. Yeah. That definitely stands out.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. There was that one time at Balnarring, our care, with the 104-year-old. I was like, this is definitely the oldest participant we've had this year.
Yeah, incredible.
And playing on the plants.
Yeah.
We hadn't brought in the plants pretty much at all yet in aged care because we've been doing the sound touch thing mostly.
Yeah.
So it was just nice to see that actually happen.
And on that Arcare Seniors Festival Day, I observed a couple who had been married for over 60 years playing sound, working with sound touch, and their faces and the emotion that brought out was like, yeah, I get tingles just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was really special.
Yeah, I think that day where everyone was in the room and it was actually quite kind of chaotic because usually we go in and do the duet arts workshops and it's quite quiet and there might be like 15 people in a room going around a circle, and sometimes they don't actually change the room at all, and so we're literally going from table to table, or we're going to someone's room, bedside or something like that. But this was communal space where everybody was together.
Yeah.
And there was probably like 50 or so people in the room.
Yeah, I was going to say. And there was lots of things happening, lots of people moving, lots of sandwiches being handed around, and it was very lively.
What about if there was one thing that you could do differently that you did this year? I know there's a lot of things that we possibly could have done differently, but if there's one thing.
One thing would be to not have connecting flights. Have the connecting flight for you in
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. If they were both on the same airline, that would have been so much easier for the freight of the musical plants to get from here to Korea.
That was going to be mine too. I mean, I'm the one that booked that flight, so really that...
I am very pleased about that side of things. But yeah, that's one that sticks out.
I think, that would have made things a lot easier.
All of the challenges that we've had, the annoying challenges that logistics and travelling, whether that's money travelling, bouncing to different accounts, or 10 boxes getting from Melbourne to Joondalup, WA to Adelaide. But we did it all.
Moving stuff around.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much our job, is moving stuff around.
Yeah, that's
a lot of the time. We're going to go through the year. Quick fire.
Righto.
January.
Yep.
We were building Cold Voice. I was working with our designer, Harry, who was an intern the year before.
Yeah.
That was great to come up with the designs for a version of Cold Voice that we could flat pack and we could build out of the materials that we already had used for a super early version of Cold Voice. Wait, no, that's not true. This is when we were developing Cold Voice for Deacon. Which, we'll get to. Oh my gosh, that happened this year. Okay, so let's stay in January. This is going to be really hard. All right, January, Copac plants.
Yeah, that was you and Laura and Penelope.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's fun.
In the gardens.
So lovely. That
was a nice start of the year.
Yeah.
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 And then that's it.
That's it for Jan.
So a nice kind of gentle start to the year.
Yep.
February, continuing the Cold Voice thing. But one other thing we did this year, which was really exciting and new, is that we had Creative Facilitator Development Days.
Oh, yeah.
So we had our first one at the start of February. That was here in Tremana, I think.
With Affy and Laura.
Affy and Laura and yourself. And we just talked about the way we would creative facilitate Cold Voice, but also just what creative facilitation means. I was kind of collecting that data for the PhD. It was the first time that we actually kind of articulated what we do and
why it's so important.
Why it's so important. And I think it's something that I'd love to keep exploring with this team, but also on a broader scale as well, because that was really important to do. And then later in February, you did the PAC tour producing program. You started that.
Yeah. Wow. What a year.
What a year.
Yeah, so I learnt a lot of really great things about sustainable touring strategies and looking after yourselves and your team on tour. Really great opportunity for professional development.
Then we had reflections at Moonee Valley Council.
That was a big gig, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was Reflection and the Plants.
Reflection and the Plants at the end of Feb.
Yeah, Moonee Valley Festival. We had a couple of teams and it was a really long gig. It was a morning through to late evening gig, so we had
two teams.
Had a Reflection team and Plants team, and then swapping over. And
I was staying in a hotel up the road because the next day we had Moorabbin Plants.
Yeah.
Which...
I was working with Sam.
You were working with Sam on.
Yeah.
And because
Kingston Arts Centre.
Kingston Arts Centre, that's right. And then on that same day, we started Cold Voice at Deakin.
Wait, so we had a truck.
Had a truck.
And then on the Friday,
Had everything in it.
We bumped in Cold Voice
Yeah.
to Deakin.
Yeah.
And then on the Saturday morning, we met at Moonee Valley and bumped in Reflection.
And then Plants.
And the Plants. And then did that massive
Then
day.
that night bumped out.
That night bumped out.
Yeah.
And you had a snooze in
Then
the
I snoozed in the
in the hotel.
at like a really cheap motel and
Moonee Valley.
in Moonee Valley.
Moonee Ponds.
Moonee Ponds, that's right. Then
And then I went to the Kingston Arts Centre the next day.
I don't know how you got the plans.
I got a van, another little
van,
high ace. And then, we did a swap over. I think I got that go-get van from Northcote.
Yeah, and then I took Reflection
Did that
to Deakin. I think I actually stayed near Deakin for a couple of days. That's right, because I had that big truck and I had to keep parking it in weird places.
That's right, and I got a parking fine in Deakin. That was so
Low light of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then we did Deakin Cold Voice. So the first ever Cold Voice, it was a completely different design, but this was a showing that I did for my PhD final showing for assessors. It was during O Week. It was Affy and yourself and Laura as creative facilitators. And we just kind of worked it out as we went. We learned a lot. We learned that it's very much slower than the plants. It's much more meditative.
Moving as well.
We had a lot of conversations about the end of the world. It was at Deakin, so it was all university students.
Yeah.
Very different kind of conversations than we would usually have when we're doing a much more public work.
Yeah, family and children's festivals and stuff like that.
But I think it was a good preparation. We learned about freezing ice and how long that takes and how hard it is. Melting ice and how that can also be an issue. I mean, we already knew it would be an issue, but remember buying bags of ice and then filling the molds so that there'd be ice already in them and then putting water in. It was bad. Anyway, we learned a lot.
Invested in a few deep
Chest freezers.
freezers.
Yeah, we had 3 freezers going.
Yeah.
And so that was the end of Feb. So we basically had this mad rush. So the slow January.
Yeah.
And then February turned into a mad rush. Then at the start of March, you were in Adelaide.
That was the
tour
tour
producing thing.
In-person meeting, which was awesome.
That was just a quick trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was just up and back.
I think somewhere here,
Yeah.
we sent the plants to Joondalup.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the same day we had the plants and Reflection at RMIT.
Yeah, and I was
RMIT.
coming back from Adelaide.
And I took it straight from RMIT to Bayswater to drop off to be freighted to Joondalup.
Did you have a team member with you? For that drop off?
Not for the drop off, but
Yeah,
Sam.
and Sam and Mon and
Mon was there.
Sophia was
there. Yeah. So we had a big team at.
Yeah, so that was hectic, but
RMIT.
also kind of good because you already had the van.
Yeah, but the day after that, we had the Plants at Port Fairy Folk Festival, which is a very different version of the Plants, because that was the new version of the Plants built in a couple of days using
the Cold Voice
and the frames and everything like that.
From Deakin, which was the week prior.
Which was the week before. So somehow that happened. I don't know.
Did.
And I think, this is all before the new version of the Plants has been built.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah. That's the start of March. Then you flew off to Perth
And all the while
on the 13th of March.
Yeah, prepping local facilitators in Perth for that gig.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about Joondalup?
Yeah, so Joondalup Festival was in WA. It's about a 40-minute drive from Perth. I went up on my own and trained up six local artists. I taught them all about the Playable Streets method in creative facilitation.
Yeah, and created great documentation around the plants.
Yeah,
and
big facilitator manuals, lots of documentation about how to set the plants up and pack them down. And I even filmed a video how you pot a plant and making sure that there's enough soil in there. And being the sole Melbourne-based Playable Streets artist to go up and train everybody, that was a first.
Yeah.
I was there for about 10 days while working with the facilitators, training them up on the ground. I was having meetings with people as well in WA and Perth and Fremantle. And then I passed the baton over to the artists.
Yes.
And
Which is the first time we've done that as well.
yeah. And then they packed them up at the end of the season and put them on a truck and sent them to Adelaide.
For Dream Big, yeah.
But that was, it was a really good discovery, I think, for the sustainable touring method behind getting local artists in, and sustainable as well in terms of the arts sector by giving into the local artists in that community.
And I think
things. It was
extending
really-
the season, so you're not spending all this money on getting a lot of artists over to a certain area, or also you've got the freight cost, but we're trying to bring that down. Yeah, so you can spend more money on people there. You know, we hope that doesn't affect people here, because then we can still have gigs here.
Yeah, exactly.
And still do a lot of work in Victoria.
Yeah.
Basically trying to reduce what we spend on anything that isn't artists or things that we have to make or whatever.
And that's more attractive for presenters as well.
Yeah.
And I think it was a really successful season. Folks at Joondalup Festival really pleased, and
Yeah.
that was big.
That was a big one. So that was actually started at the 15th of March and went all the way until the 6th of April. So
I flew back after
3
10
weeks.
days.
Yeah. And in that time, also, we did Clayton Festival, in, which was with Reflection. And this has actually happened a few times this year, which I actually feel good about, is not great about, obviously, where a whole festival has been rained out and nothing has been on except for a Playable Streets thing. We ended up relocating into a meeting room in the big community hub that set up Reflection and all that. And then it was just torrential rain all day and everything else was rained out, which is sad. But we had heaps of people through the whole day because we were the only thing that was
really
actually
nice.
on. Then we were developing duet arts in that time, and also Reflection, revisiting Reflection, developing some new panels for that, working in a gallery. So we had to test a lot of stuff that we were going to be using for that. So that gets us into April. You're still doing your tour producing thing.
Yep.
And I think this was a bit of a development month. It was the sound touch device for Mornington Peninsula Shire Duet Arts.
Yep.
With Bob and Kane, and redeveloping Reflection. And I think this is kind of where I started working with Harry again on a travel version of the plants. So that was happening all at the same time.
That's right. And there was a particular gig that we needed to make them for.
That was,
and that was
I think it was for Cairns.
It was for Cairns.
Which is coming up. And so making a travel version of the plants meant having something that fit on an aeroplane that we could just travel with on our own. So it had all these stipulations. Each package had to be a metre, no bigger than a metre in any direction. It had to be under 26 kilos or whatever. It had to be strong enough to protect it. And so we went through all these different designs of different ways of flat packing it or hinging it or whatever, and then ended up on this babushka design where the main triangle of each box stays exactly the same, but they get slightly thinner. They stack together.
And there's 5 in each stack.
Yeah. So I've actually got a thing in here in the calendar that says, hopefully new plants ready. I'm not sure if they were ready on that day.
I don't think they were. I think it was a pretty tight turnaround.
Yeah, I think it was literally the day before, because I remember working late at night, creating a shed with some tarps out the back because there was no room in the tiny shed that we've got here. And just, a lot of late nights. That gets us into May. You and Laura head off to Dream Big Festival.
Yeah, we do. In Adelaide. Yep, we head off there and hope that the plants made it safely
from
Joondalup to WA, and they did. The Dream Big team looked after them at the festival centre for nearly a month, which was
that's right.
very kind. And we set them up, and we met a couple of wonderful local facilitators, Sam and Sarah, who were a part of the season, which was about 2 weeks.
Yep, 2 weeks.
And ran a lot of workshops, had a massive weekend, the Big Family Weekend, where we presented the plants as the ever evolving installation. A highlight for me from that season was working with the South Australian Vision Impaired School. We had to redesign the plants workshop to cater for people with minimal to no vision, and that was a really great challenge, and it was a really beautiful workshop. It just reminded me of how accessible the instruments are, and particularly with how the wood resonates as a part of the exciter speakers, and just the different textures of plants and natural materials that we brought into the workshop. But yeah, that just came to mind. That was a real highlight from Adelaide and Dream Big. And yeah, that was a big time, couple of weeks in Adelaide.
Yeah, and while you were in Adelaide, we opened Reflection at Southside Festival, as part of Southside Festival.
That's right, Cube 37.
Cube 37 in Frankston, so just up the road. First time in a gallery. We weren't exactly sure how it would be received, but it went really well. And we started with workshops. We did like a series of workshops beforehand, and then it was open for like 2 weeks. And here comes Jamie. Hello.
Hi. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, it's a live feed, live action. I was going to go get some lunch in about half an hour. So yeah, Cube 37 in a gallery, started with workshops. We presented the work and it was mostly facilitated. Your mum was a facilitator?
Yeah,
that was a highlight.
That was a highlight. Yeah, getting mum on the PS team.
Yeah.
How good.
That was great. Because we would have, you know, some school groups come through. We had a late night, opening night, where it was quite busy. And yeah, and we had different facilitators.
It looked great in that gallery space, like from the outside, through the big glass windows.
Yeah. It was the first time putting it in a gallery. What I really liked about putting it in a gallery was that you can control the conditions, because we're usually outside. So it was amazing to like not have to worry about wind or worry about being in the elements, rain, all that sort of stuff. And it also let the installation grow, over a longer period of time. So I think there was a lot more, for want of a better word, reflection on what people were writing. And I could notice when I saw it at the end, little sections where people were responding to other things that people had written and stuff like that, which does happen when we do it in the public space. But I just felt like there was just more time for people to layer things up.
And probably the foot traffic as well wasn't as intense as what we're used to in a festival setting, and people staying for longer.
Yeah, it was less people, but they stayed for longer. I think.
Which is nice,
and that was
engagement.
In for almost 2 weeks. But on Friday the 16th, we had Reflection at Southside Festival. We had you and Laura and the team at Dream Big, and we were also taking the plants to Cairns.
But aren't the plants already in Adelaide?
Aren't they already in Adelaide? No. So and this was crazy because
this is bonkers with a capital B.
Because it was myself and Jamie and our 2 kids and her sister and her kid and Jamie's mum, all together on a family holiday, but also worked out really well because we got everyone excess baggage. So I think we had like over 170 kilos worth of excess baggage, just in case. Everything was under 100 kilos, but I was like, oh, just in case. And so we flew with Jetstar, and if we can get it through on Jetstar, we can get it through anywhere. That was surprisingly fine at the Melbourne airport. They were just like, oh yeah, whatever, just you've got excess baggage. Yep, this is all under it. That's fine. Just take it to oversize. So we did, and they're like, those weird looking triangles.
The Toblerones.
The Toblerones, yeah, that was good. The airport Toblerone. And so we got it all there. When we got there, we had this Kia Grand Carnival or something. It had 3 kids and
like a clown car.
Yeah, 4 adults, and we're all just stuck in this car, just trying to get to the hotel. I think we had to do 2 trips. It was crazy.
Classic.
We're staying in a caravan park as well, with like one of those giant jumping pillows and kids running everywhere. It was actually perfect because it was Cairns Children's Festival, so we really immersed ourselves in it. We were set up at the art centre on the first day. That was really nice out there, doors in the lobby. Oh, the other thing, we were also testing a brand new tech version of the plant.
This is the thing that you and Harry were working with the
stack, but also working with Bob and Kane on the new sound.
Exactly.
Because we were taking new sounds that we'd developed, new tech, basically, to make it more sensitive, and you could do new things. So the plants always used to be, you could control different notes depending on how close you are to it, far away, but this was controlling the speed of arpeggiators or changing roll-off filters and all different dynamics and all these sorts of things. So we're testing all that. And it's all Wi-Fi connected because there was no hatch on these new ones. So everything had to be controlled via a laptop that was connected to Wi-Fi. So many layers. And we had to build them. So Jamie and I spent a day building them, putting them all back
Which
together.
was tight.
It was
like
very tight.
One day for the two of you.
Yeah. So that was big. And
Oh
so
my
that was a
God.
big weekend where we were in 3 different places, 3 different states. If it couldn't be any more crazy, I got back and didn't come home. I stayed at the airport and then went to Changi Airport the next day with a suitcase full of power supplies, new tech.
Which was the tech from Cairns as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, part of it was the tech from Cairns. These special new power supplies that we were going to use because the first time we did the installation at Changi, we had issues with their power. So I had all these fancy power supplies. I had this massive suitcase, but it was in the car that I left to go to Cairns. So I went back to that car.
So much forward thinking.
That was a lot. It was the pin board in my brain was just all red string. That was a solo one. So I just arrived at Changi and set up this new version of the plants, which was going to be the longest installation. So it's actually still there now. And that was in May. I spent the time. Luckily, the power was fine and it wasn't an issue at all in this new location. So that was great, but we had some issues with the pots that they'd ordered or the plant or the stands or something, so we had to wait around for that. So there was a lot of waiting. But I was joking at the time because I'd recently watched Terminal, which is the Tom Hanks movie. Where
I love that film.
It's such a good film. So he's stuck in an airport for days and days. I wasn't quite in the dire straits that Tom Hanks' character was. And there was some really great food at the Changi Airport. So good.
If you were stuck in an airport, Changi
is the airport to be stuck in. But I would get there at 9 every morning and leave at like 5 every night and then go to the hotel and then come back every day, including the last day when I spent, because I was flying out that night, I think I ended up being like 12 hours early for my flight. And like checked in.
You love it.
I did love getting there early, but that was my longest. And I came back and you went back into the tour producing program for PAC. I picked up the plants at Bayswater. They'd just come back from Dream Big. Then I went into a kind of PhD hibernation because June was one little gig at Mornington Library. Brought some plants out at Mornington Library.
Nice.
Did a little workshop there. That was fun.
Great.
But it was cold voice development and PhD writing time.
Yep. Yeah, that was a big time for you.
That's right. We actually bumped out reflection in June. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was there for...
Because the festival was 2 weeks.
Festival, but then it stayed up for
like
a month.
So we're developing cold voice, working with Bob, working with Kane, because in July it was the bump in for Monash Cold Voice.
Yeah, cold voice.
First season.
And you weren't able to make the actual bump in, so Kane and I...
That's right. You and Kane did the bump in.
We did the bump in. Yeah, awesome team in the David Lee Sound Gallery, and
it
was really
Kane
exciting.
worked on a kind of surround sound thing for it.
Yeah, it was a really special place to premiere it, wasn't it?
Sophia is creative facilitator, so we worked together and delivered the workshops. And it was a split day, so we would do a workshop, then an open session, and a workshop, then an open session for their festival. And we were drumming up work and getting ready to start Duet Arts, which started in August. We're in August. And we went to 7 different aged care places over August and a bit in September. But that was amazing to get that program back off the ground.
Incredible.
After a hiatus of 7 years. 2018, I think it was first happening.
Yeah.
Had all this great momentum where we thought like 2019, we were kind of presenting it again or developing and trying to do some fundraising. And then 2020 was going to be this year where it went out and into the aged care centres and obviously did not. It took this long to kind of get it back up, but it was really well received. And I think it was actually a really good time to be revisiting that.
Yeah.
Another exciting week that happened where you went to APAX in Darwin.
Performing Arts Exchange. We got a pitch.
We got a pitch. We got a 1 minute pitch.
For 2 works.
For 2 works, so 30 seconds each. So just spoke really fast. We were pitching 2 works because we took on Endling, Barking Spider's beautiful Endling, which we're going to be producing. And we thought pairing Endling and Cold Voice, a participatory work that can be presented indoor, outdoor, and then this nice 50-minute performance work for children that explores the last creature on Earth. Kids creating an environment for this creature, and
it's really hopeful, beautiful work. Yeah, they pair really, really nicely together.
Yeah, different enough, but also in the same vein. Yeah, you got to see a bit of Darwin life.
Yep, bit of Darwin life. Met lots of awesome creators and people representing venues, and big week of meetings and learnings, and holding the baton for Playable Streets and Barking Spider was really cool.
And while that was happening, we were doing a development of Kite Choir. Another work that we're collaborating on, but also helping to produce, will be featuring at APAM next year at a full-length pitch. That's going to be really exciting, and that's Holly Austin's beautiful, large-scale kite choir. It is what it says. It's a beautiful sound work, recording voices from all around the world and putting them into this forest of kites that takes over a public space. We spent a week with Bob and Kane, myself and Holly, and a bunch of local kite experts. And it was great. We ended up on the final day, we went down to Rosebud Beach and set up like a kite forest, and they had these beautiful giant kites that were there as well. And it was one of those works, it's so simple. The beauty is all in the wonder and the scale and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, something else, Chloe. So this has been a bit of a year for jumping into producer life, because you started another producer development
mentorship program with the amazing Laura Milky Garner. I was one of 6 selected artist producers in Melbourne to work with Laura for a year and learn about leadership in producing, different ways to approach budgets and touring, and basically just a whole lot of producer golden nugget knowledge. And, that's been really awesome to pair with alongside the work that we're doing with Playable Streets, and it's been great professional development. So it's been a big professional development year with the pack producing, with Laura Milky.
And going to APACs.
Going to APACs, then also, navigating a kind of a triple gig in Korea that I was working on another work when we went over for musical plants in Korea. We'll get to that though. It's in next month.
September, there was a lot of pre-production with Korea.
Yes, and I went to Korea. I was there from mid-September, and the pre-production the on-site production began in late September for me.
So do you want to talk quickly about what you did in Korea before the plants?
So it was a really cool collaboration between Art Play, City of Melbourne, and Jeonju Cultural Foundation, the Palbrook Art Factory in Jeonju, which is like a few hours south of Seoul, creating works with and for children in Australia and in Korea. And we had this cross-cultural collaborative development period online for like six weeks, and I was paired up with this amazing artist called Jun Ko, and we developed this work. We met each other for the first time in person in mid-September and presented as a part of an installation journey, I guess, at Palbrook Art Factory, and as a part of a Jeonju Art Play International Festival, which was really cool. It just aligned somehow that I went to Korea for this art play collaboration, and then 2 weeks later we were booked for Seoul Street Arts Festival and Gyeongju Silk Road Festival. Big time. A month in Korea for me.
A month in Korea, and amazing, because so I met you at the start of October, but before that, at the end of September, we had Reflection in the Plants at Bed Square.
Oh yeah,
for ACF.
Amazing, yeah.
So
Australian
it was
Conservation Foundation.
Their 60th anniversary.
60th year anniversary. That was a great collaboration.
Yeah, that was awesome. We worked with them for a while, and we developed some specific prompts for reflection to talk about endangered species And we also created a cute little
Love letters to nature.
Love letters to nature. That was really nice. And it was just a beautiful 2 days where a really gentle kind of takeover of the atrium.
Yeah, as a part of Reset
as a part of Reset
Square as
Festival.
well. They were really supportive of
Yeah.
the work. It was Tess,
Mon.
Mon, Laura, Sophia, and yourself.
Yeah.
I remember FaceTiming you all from
That's right.
from one of the galleries
Korea.
in Seoul.
We're in October. The task of getting the new version of the plants wrapped up on a plane to Korea.
On your own, I couldn't help you
On my
because I was
own.
already there.
Yeah,
I
I had a
actually-
few moments where like people would be like, "Are you sure that's?" The guy at the when I dropped my car off for long-term parking, Is it just you? I was like, "Yeah, it's just me. I'll be fine. I'll just leave one thing there and then drag the other and then leave the other thing there and drag the other."
Because that's right. Because I had a suitcase. I took a big suitcase.
You took a bit,
25 kilos of the tech and the arms and some of
Yeah.
the heavy stuff. But then you had the two
Toblerones,
Toblerones,
a big suitcase, and then a carry-on rolly suitcase
and a backpack.
and a backpack. The travel over there wasn't great, but the festival was really great. We had like a rainy day, but again, this is the other time where the festival kind of ground to a bit of a halt over the first couple of days, but we were still out there
Yeah.
presenting the plants. I mean, it's kind of natural.
And it's sort of this new version is kind of waterproof in a way. Like
Yeah.
it's water resistant, more
Yeah.
water resistant than the earlier version, I think.
How many days was that? It was 3 days there
Those
at
3
Seoul?
days, yeah. And we
Yeah.
were along the stream, which was very picturesque on those the 2 days. Gyeongju.
Gyeongju.
Yeah.
5-hour drive south.
Yeah. Met
Bandart.
we met Bandart, wonderful Hungarian
Yeah.
arts company.
Yeah, I feel like there's something on the horizon for us to do
Yeah.
something with them. They had a beautiful improvised projection work that they were doing, and then we got to see a New Zealand vocal group, lots of performance stuff, lots of circus, acrobats, a bit of fire twirling. I saw some Korean hip hop, which was pretty fun. And then we had that last day off where we went to see the tombs and
Yeah, I love the Korean
museums
tombs,
and all that
big,
sort of stuff.
Big mounds.
Yeah.
Found them so fascinating.
yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
We had the Seniors Festival, so that's
Yep.
where we did that final
Yeah, that was
duet art
beautiful.
thing for the year, which I think was really great.
Great footage.
Great video,
Yeah.
which I think has been a good way to get the word out there that we're doing this project.
You also handed in your PhD sometime.
Oh yeah, when did I do that? Was that in August?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I don't
it
know,
was
it's not
before,
in here.
just before I went to Korea.
Yeah, that sounds
Maybe.
about right. November, this is kind of like our consolidation month where sometimes we have busy end of the year because it's warm and gigs come out and all that sort of stuff. And then sometimes a little bit slower, and I think we talked about this, we had such a hectic start of the year and up until October. So we weren't doing as much reach out as we kind of usually do at the start of the year, which would kind of facilitate more work at the end of the year. But it actually worked out really well because it allowed us to actually reflect on some of the work that we'd already done, look at a lot of stuff that's coming up for next year. Start getting the website better, doing more video.
Doing the videos,
you know,
launching the YouTube
Launching
channel.
the YouTube channel, like and subscribe.
And you're on TikTok
On
now.
TikTok, you're on TikTok now. Never too old to TikTok. Did all that and then did our, what is now becoming a little bit of a tradition, our Queenscliff gig where we actually brought the plants and Reflection this year.
Yep,
And
Music Festival. It's like our Christmas party.
It's our Christmas party. Yeah, 20 or 30,000 people, which gets us to now. And again, our December is really about talking about next year. Are there any sneak peeks that we can talk about?
Yeah, I
For
think
next
so.
year?
We've got a beautiful collaboration with Mornington Peninsula Shire Gallery, Mornington Peninsula Regional Gallery, which is going to be we're revamping an older work.
Exquisite
which is
stories,
really exciting. An intergenerational work, and also doing some more outreach within the area, within the hood. Another sort of sneak peek will be heading up to Sydney for a couple of different gigs.
Definitely Willoughby.
Yeah.
So that's going to be amazing. That's working at this beautiful music centre in Willoughby, the Willoughby
Chatswood.
Yeah. Chatswood, sorry.
And we'll be using that same model that we did with Joondalup and the WA artists and training people up, local facilitators up. Art Centre Melbourne.
Art Centre Melbourne.
Cold Voice, first time out in the real world in the real hot summer during Moomba.
We're going to have Cold Voice outdoors. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, more learnings.
More learnings.
How long does it take for the ice to melt?
I'm sure it will be.
Producer's dream, Glenn.
Yeah.
working with ice and outdoor elements, and
you never stop learning.
Great collaboration as well with Begonia Festival, a flower festival in Ballarat. That's going to be really fun.
We'll be going to APAM with Kite Choir. So super excited to see Kite Choir develop over the year. We have some new works that we're going to be producing, I think, this year as well. We've got some exciting new project that Bob Jarvis, our head of technology, is developing, which I'll be talking more about later.
Trying to get Endling out there.
Yep.
Maybe working with those Hungarians at band art.
Absolutely.
That's an interesting sort of pathway that we're sort of leaning into, I think.
Yeah, that's new.
Working with other people producing them, because I think we're pretty good at it.
Well, I mean, it's been a pretty busy year.
Yeah.
We're definitely getting out there.
And lots of learning.
And we might as well use that learning. No point in doing the learning and then not using it.
Exactly. Wow.
Wow. What a year.
What a bloody year.
2025. Get out. You're done.
You're done.
Well, now we've done the kind of recap of like the whole year. We've used the word learnings a lot. What's something that you've learned from this year that you're taking into 2026?
I think we already knew how important the creative facilitator is in this sort of work at the beginning of the year, but it was definitely cemented and documented with all of the beautiful connections and conversations we've had over the year, particularly with people in aged care, but also just the presence of the creative facilitator. In Korea, we don't speak Korean. A lot of the people we engaged with didn't speak much English, and just having people with our work is so important, and I think we're just building on that understanding moving into next year, I think. The importance of the human connection. The one thing that stands out for me from this year is actually more than the performance. It is those very small time that we had together to talk about creative facilitation and have those development days. Because as a company, we do a lot of work and we present a lot of work, but we very rarely are in a room together talking about that or working on anything. Mostly because our model doesn't revolve around funding, so we don't get funding for any development, where I think that would be the one thing that would be really amazing to add on to the kind of things that we do in public. I've learned so much from just talking with you and Afi and Laura about your experiences outside of Playable Streets. And I know there's so many people in Melbourne, but also around the world, that work with different companies, have different experiences. But when you're in the room, there's all these commonalities that come out. It'd be really great to start collecting some of those stories and some of that connective tissue. Connective tissues. Okay, great. That's good. Thanks, Chloe. Thanks, Glenn. What a year.
What a year. Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Thanks to everyone who was a creative facilitator.
So many creative facilitators.
Amazing. Thanks everyone who booked us. Thanks to everyone who participated and had a play. All our amazing creators and technologists and musicians, and I think that's it. 2025 wrapped.
Yep. Here we go. 2026.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Nice one.
Good one.
This
Say it's very cricket, very
bowler.
70s cricket,
Yeah.
or like bowls.
It's nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.